Welcome to IAYT and welcome to Comic Fights. Before we launch into this week's fight, let's look back at last week. We had the Taskmaster armed with an adamantium skeleton versus Deathstroke armed with the Soul Taker sword. Now, a few people brought up the point that adamantium is poisonous and would just kill Taskmaster, but that is not fun, so we're just going to pretend that it doesn't. Okay, in this make-believe world that we're creating. So assuming that the adamantium doesn't kill Taskmaster, who would win? I think I'm going to go with Deathstroke. Even though Taskmaster might be able to eventually learn Deathstroke's maneuvers, his healing factor, his amount of skill, and the Soul Taker sword, with all the wisdom that it embodies, I don't think Taskmaster would have enough time to learn how Deathstroke does his thing. And user Ariomus had this to say, and I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Putting together the tactical genius and improved intellect of Deathstroke with the wisdom brought by the Soul Taker is really scary. I mean, we're dealing with someone who's compared to Batman in terms of planning and has overpowered, outsmarted several Justice League members at once. And now he has access to more information than he could ever need. I'm absolutely certain that he would figure Taskmaster out and come up with a countermeasure in no time. I mean, with the skeleton, you can't decapitate Taskmaster, but you can slash him in the neck to the bone, and without a healing factor, well, that would hurt. My thoughts exactly, so I'm going to give that W to Deathstroke. So it's Friday, which means it's fight day, and this week we have a really interesting one. We've got Jason Todd, the Red Hood, versus Agent Venom, Flash Thompson. So let's start with the Red Hood. Red Hood was originally a Robin to Batman. Batman thought he was killed by the Joker, but it turned out he was resurrected by a Lazarus pit and then trained by the League of Assassins to be a deadly, deadly warrior. So he was trained not only by Batman, but also by some of the deadliest people in the DC universe. The League of Assassins actually considers him to be their most successful pupil, which is saying a lot. He's usually armed with a lot of weapons, so he's got guns, knives, swords. He's very proficient at a lot of different weaponry, and he is concise, just precision strikes, able to take out anyone that he really wants to, an incredibly deadly individual. And then to face him, we have Flash Thompson, who is a war veteran who served in Iraq and lost both of his legs. Now, in a US government experiment, he was bonded with the symbiote known as Venom. This symbiote gave him legs, and it also gave him kind of all the other abilities that comes with the symbiote. So things like kind of superhuman perception, a little boost in speed, a little boost in strength, kind of amped him up a lot. It also allows him the ability to kind of create additional appendages, so he can kind of wield additional guns. He has kind of a healing factor. He can do some web slinging. He can stick to walls. He can do some very basic kind of Spider-Man-y things, including a spider sense, which will definitely come in handy against the Red Hood. While the symbiote gives Flash Thompson a definite advantage, it also has a lot of weaknesses. So it's susceptible to kind of sonic attacks, to fire attacks. So if Red Hood is able to use these weaknesses and either separate or harm the symbiote, Flash Thompson is just going to be a sitting goose. Another weakness is that the symbiote could revert to this Venom-like state where Flash Thompson loses control. And so Red Hood might be able to use this chaos, this berserk nature to his advantage. So who do you think takes it? Agent Venom, who's got military training and some bonuses of having the symbiote, or Red Hood, who is a trained assassin and trained by Batman? You know, he's got some incredible technology. Plus, he's just got a killer attitude. So who do you think takes it? Let me know in the comments all of your arguments. Give us references. You know, tell us, well, in this, he did this, to outline why you think one of those two people is going to come out on top. And next week, I'll try to shout out the best explanation for who should win. And we'll see you next week on Comic Fights.